Yo, what is going on, PartTimerZack here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Ayla. So this is actually going to be a first in the series that I kind of wanted to start called the Gauntlet. Essentially what I wanted to do is showcase all kinds of different characters and give an idea of what it kind of looks like whenever you get to a point wherever you put a lot of resources into them. And the main reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted to kind of pump these units full of resources so that you guys don't have to, or if you're kind of eyeing a unit and you're like, hey, what would it look like if I, for example, for Ayla, if I grinded her out in the interlude and got her to like SSS, what would that look like? What would it like? Would it even be worth it? That is essentially what I wanted to do in these type of videos. So I'm going to be kind of going over a couple different things. I want to do Tower of Babel, Warzone, and Pancake because I feel like right now that's kind of like the daily rotation. And a lot of people are kind of wondering like, hey, if she's not really good at Tower of Babel, is she at least decent at Warzone? Is it kind of worth, pumping resources into her for some other different modes and stuff like that? So I was able to reach out to Kiro Games on Discord, and they were happy enough to kind of provide me with this creator account and give me a lot of different resources that otherwise it would have just taken me a very, very long time to do it if I had to do it on my own. And I wouldn't have really came out the way that I wanted it to. So thank them for being able to kind of like help me out with this account and being able to kind of give me a lot of resources. Now, the point of that isn't to kind of like brag or, whatever, because I can't use this for anything else. It's like on its own server. I'm not connected to anybody. I can't go into Warzone and fight against, other people and accumulate points anyway. It's mainly just to showcase essentially what this character would look like if you put the max amount of resources that you could, and kind of give you an idea if it's kind of worth it in the grand scheme of things. So yes, you will be seeing some characters that are SSS plus. Again, I can't use them for like my own personal account or anything. It's just strictly kind of a showcase. Now, talking about Ayla, I did talk about her movesets and kind of go over some of the different things. I will link that video if you kind of want to dive into some of her skills, as I'm just going to be kind of playing through a couple different things and kind of going through the Gauntlet, which essentially is going to start off at the Tower of Babel, go into Warzone, and go into Pancake. Now, for this first video, I'm going to go ahead and separate those. I'm going to go ahead and do Tower of Babel in this video, and then I will make two separate videos, one for Warzone and one for Pancake. This is going to be experimental, so if you guys would rather it just be one kind of accumulated video, definitely let me know in the comments. Like I said, we're just kind of experimenting here and kind of seeing how we want to do this. If you guys would rather it all be one video, definitely let me know. So what I got going on for her right now is going to be the 4 Pattons and the 2 Darwins. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to showcase her damage. She is mainly a tank, so normally I would use like Da Vinci's and stuff like that for her QTEs and kind of bring her in that way. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to kind of showcase her in a different light. I wanted to give you guys an idea of essentially what she would look like if you were like willing to main her, or you kind of wanted to see what it looked like if you mained her. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at Watanabe. We do have future stuff coming on him. I am kind of building him up a little bit more, but I wanted to get Ayla kind of out of the way because she is right now being able to summon, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be wondering whether it's going to be worth it. So let's go ahead and jump into the Tower of Babel with my girl Ayla here and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Now, I did go ahead and do this just to see where I could get. I can get to level 40 with just doing Ayla and not swapping off. So the whole point of this is just kind of show what she can kind of look like. I was trying not to swap off into like Watanabe or anybody else because I do have some other stronger characters that would be able to kind of get me a little bit higher in level. But for the most part, I wanted to kind of showcase what it would look like just for Ayla. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So I do have a couple of different things that I wanted to mention. I am at level 40. Some of the different things that I have is like sprint, movement speed of enemies largely increase, some of the HP of the enemies increase and stuff like that. My movement speed is actually reduced by 50%, and then I actually take a little bit of damage every second, and then enemies are no longer be immobile after attacking, and then enemies recover 2% of their maximum HP per second. And then Berserk is going to be the attacking Spire of enemies increases by 33%. When enemies deal damage, 20% chance to deal 33% extra damage. Bomb is going to be whenever they die, they do a little bit more damage to nearby enemies and stuff like that. And then Closed Loop is actually going to be enemies take 30% less damage from attacks 4 meters away. So it's not really going to be a big thing for Ayla because she's kind of an up close unit. And then Blessing enemies boosts nearby companions damage by 20%. So Solitude is when an enemy has fewer than 3 companions nearby. Each companion increases its damage by 10% up to 30%. And then Flash, enemies can actually target and teleport onto me. And then Black Hole is going to be enemies can draw targets in 12-second cooldown. So we're going to be able to go into here. Yes, I do have Watanabe, and then I do have a Liv here. I wanted to kind of use B-Liv. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use B-Liv mainly because it's going to help out quite a bit for the physical. And then you can see this is going to be attacker, and then it's going to be somebody with a little bit more of 3000 BP. And then we're going to grab these as well. So attack of the deployed constructs increases by 10%, and constructs gain an additional 45% damage reduction. So let's go ahead and jump in here, and hopefully I'm able to do this on recording. I was able to do it by myself, but I was super locked in. So hopefully I'm able to kind of do it. I wanted to pick something that I was able to kind of talk to as well, because I probably could go a little bit higher, but I would really have to focus and really not be able to kind of showcase some of the things that I want to talk about with Ayla. So Ayla is actually pretty interesting to say the least. Her kind of combo structure is very, very cool. So essentially what she kind of does is on a 3 ping, if you use her blue, it kind of does this like little suck thing that I just did a minute ago, and it kind of brings everybody in. So for this like sake of this kind of game mode, it actually does help out quite a bit. So for example, if I go like this, you know, then I turn around and I can kind of bring everybody in. So the thing is though, sometimes it doesn't work because depending on what kind of like buffs and stuff like that the boss actually has, they're like immune to being pulled. But usually whenever you're kind of working your way through it, you will have that kind of like luxury of being able to kind of pull that unit towards you. So it's kind of cool because you're able to kind of get a little bit of a glimpse of like this, I don't want to call it like a stop motion essentially, but you have a second to breathe is what I'll kind of call it. So you kind of just have a second where you're just like, okay, I can take a little bit of a breather whenever I'm in my blue. And then her ult, for example, is going to be this. You can control it so you can walk around. It's something that I didn't really realize at the very beginning. I just let her do it because I thought it was like kind of predetermined, but you can walk around on it. So sometimes whenever you're like, okay, why is she walking, you know, this way or that way? It's probably because you're actually the one pushing it and you don't realize it. So that was one of the things that I dealt with kind of going with her, because I was like, okay, I want her to walk towards the enemy that I actually want to fight. Now I do got to say that Tower of Babel has given me kind of a tough time today. I've been kind of in a not a bad mood, but it's quite been upsetting. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's been very, very annoying to say the least, because I've been trying to get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I want to showcase. Oh, I just made a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of kill here because I didn't mean to do that, but I wanted to trigger her blue, and I thought that I actually 3-pinged it. But unfortunately, I just switched over. So here is a little glimpse of Watanabe for a couple of seconds. Then we'll switch over to Ayla. Okay, that's just a glimpse of the other video. How about that? We'll just call it that. Okay, so let's go ahead and dodge. We'll use the 3-ping here. And bam. Okay, so this is funny enough, though, that this like last little part of this mission is literally the easiest thing that you can do. So like I said, I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit simple just to give you an idea of what she kind of looks like and some of her skills and stuff like that, so I'm able to talk over it. I could go a little bit higher as far as level, but I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit more simple because I wanted to be able to kind of talk over it essentially and give you guys an idea. So like I said, I will be doing Warzone and Pancake. Right now I'm kind of grinding up my account because I am at level 62 and some of this stuff hasn't rolled over quite as much. So like for example, I'm only on 1 through 54 because prior to this week I actually had to ask them to level up my account essentially to get into Tower of Babel. So whenever Sunday kind of rolls around and goes into that Monday, I'll be able to kind of show a little bit more of that. Like I said, I'm going to do Pancake and then I'm going to do Warzone as well, kind of showing her. I want to do this for a lot of different characters, Watanabe being included. And once I kind of get the ball rolling, we're going to be doing it for future units like Esbianca, Sophie and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, if you guys have any like recommendations or comments down in the comments, definitely let me know. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it there. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.